Did you order a set of super sweet 3-piece wheels in really weak specs thinking, this is no problem, I can rebuild them myself, only to find out that the lips and barrels are welded? Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no, that's definitely not what happened. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut apart and rebuild welded 3-piece wheels and build them to your specs. Here are the tools that you're going to need to be able to do this job. Not pictured as an electric impact that I have that'll take the wheels on and off the car. The first thing you're going to need is a drill with a wire wheel attachment on it that'll take the silicone off of the wheel so you can access the weld to cut it. Now, cutting the weld, I'm going to use two different things here. I'm going to use an angle grinder with a cutoff disc. You'll also want a flap disc for it afterwards. And then I also have a couple of these Sawzall blades that I'm holding in my vice grips to be able to help cut the wheel. These blades are a high tooth count, and this is a 24 tooth count and 6 inches long. I use 2 of these on one 15-inch wheel, so just be aware of that. You'll also need a couple of hammers. I've got a rubber soft hammer, and then I've got a metal hard hammer, and this is a dead blow hammer, so I like to have one of each. You'll also need some punches. This is just a regular circular punch. This one is a chisel tip punch. You'll use both of these. The regular punch, this comes in handy when taking the wheel bolts on and off, so sometimes they're a little stuck in there, and having a little punch helps with that. To be able to remove the wheel bolts, you'll want some tools like, this is a 12.8 millimeter wrench, and then I also have a socket and an electric impact to be able to remove the nut on the backside. And then what you'll also need afterwards is some new hardware. These are the wheels that I purchased, some Work Equip 03s, and one of them, the one that I've already cut apart, so you guys can learn from my mistakes, had a pretty smashed up lip here. Completely unsavable. You can see it's pretty trashed on the backside here, so it's just really, really rough condition. These equips were not going to fit my 8.6, not even come close. They're too wide, the offsets are too crazy, but I picked them up for a good deal thinking, I can relip that one and then flip them, or I could respec all the wheels to make them fit my car better. So now that's what we're doing, is we're respecing it so I can use them on my car. This is the wheel that I'm going to be cutting apart. It is a 15 by 11, and I'm going to be respecing this to a 15 by 9. This is what it's going to look like afterward. This is a 15 by 9 now with a 3-inch lip on it and an 8-inch barrel. When you're trying to decide where to cut, you got to understand that you're going to be sacrificing either the barrel or the lip. Now, in my case, I knew that what I wanted to save was the barrel, so I positioned my cut on the other wheel a little bit closer to the lip. That way I wasn't going to damage the barrel. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I would love to be able to save both, but the reality is that because it's welded, the weld does penetrate down into both the lip and the barrel a bit, so you're going to have to take away some material from one of these. And that's just how it's going to be. In this case, I have to sacrifice this big, beautiful lip so that I can reuse the barrel and have a set of wheels that are going to be the right spec for me. And you don't need a lathe, you don't need a tire machine, you don't need anything like that to be able to cut these wheels apart. All that you need is, well, a car that you can put the wheels on, and then you start the car and run it while you use your cutting tool of choice. Before putting the wheel in the car, use your drill and wire wheel to take off as much of the silicone as possible. Take your time with it, apply medium pressure, and use a medium speed, and the silicone will come off in big chunks to make everything easier. I've got this fan going to blow the exhaust fumes away from me, so you can kind of barely see in this little corner here. I've got the car in 3rd gear. I started in 1st gear to be able to get the initial little bit of a cut in, and now we're going to use 3rd gear to be able to speed up the process. Cutting takes a lot of patience. I started the grinder to take off as much material as possible as quickly as possible, but this also creates a wider cut, so I had to stop and check on it a lot to make sure I wasn't going too far. The Sawzall blades made a thinner cut and are much more precise, but they also take significantly longer to cut through the material. You can see me wearing a pair of work gloves here. This is so I can apply pressure to the back of the blade and then let my hands or fingers run along the wheel as it's spinning to help me control the blade and how deep it's cutting.
Every time you see me stop cutting and fiddle with the blade, it's because it's gummed up with aluminum chunks. So every so often I would use an old blade to knock the aluminum off and then keep on cutting. This way I could maximize the life of each of these Sawzall blades. I ended up alternating between the grinder and Sawzall blades several times because there really isn't a perfect method for measuring how far you need to cut apart this weld and how far you need to cut into the wheel. I mean, I referenced the new wheel lips to see if I can match them. I checked the depth of them to see where the wheel face ends up on those, but also looked at the old wheel that I already cut apart, and honestly, it just is all kind of guesswork. I would plan on spending about 2 hours per wheel on this part until you get experience with it. I have a couple of friends that say they can cut apart a wheel in 5 to 10 minutes, which is crazy to me, because I probably spent a little over 2 hours on the first wheel, and about an hour and a half on the second wheel, this one here.
You can see right here, there's a little black in there, little air gap. So now we know that we're super close for this to come apart. I'm gonna pull the face off and I'm gonna continue grinding it by hand with the angle grinder here on the ground, just rolling it as I grind it. And then I'll be tapping it with the hammer and a chisel. Starting to split right in here. Yeah, there we go. Still need to grind a little bit on this one. Oh, we're getting close. I'm gonna grab the bigger, fatter chisel to see if this does a better job. Oh yeah, spreading it apart. Okay, I gotta use the grinder a little bit more. Ha! Ah! You can see right here now the lip that unfortunately ends up cut out of the out of the lips. See that edge there? That's what makes these pretty much no longer usable, unfortunately. I mean, unless you welded them back together, but I don't know if I really want to do that, so. Ba-dum-ba-dum. What we have to do now is you can see there's little bits still of a lip kind of around this, the barrel, and we need to smooth that out, otherwise we're not going to have a good seal between the lip and the barrel. And that's what a flap disc is for. With everything cut apart, it's time to reassemble with all of the new parts. Obviously, you'll need your other lip or barrel, whatever you're reusing, your wheel face, your new lip or barrel, ideally some new hardware, all of the same tools that you used before, plus a few different ones. Things like some painter's tape, Loctite, some silicone and something to squeeze the silicone, a high quality torque wrench, and potentially a welder for aluminum. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, let me show you the hardware. I got my new lips and new wheel bolts from SRR Hardware in the UK. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. This is just what I chose to use, what I could find on the internet. So if it looks good to you, check them out, or any of the other online resources that you can find. This black crusty looking bolt, that's the original work wheels bolt. And then this chrome one, this is from SRR Hardware. And I can't tell you the difference in the grades of these bolts or the strength. What I can tell you though is the design is a bit different. If you look right here on the SRR Hardware bolt, that has a shank or a shoulder on it, whereas the original work one doesn't. And that is actually a really big deal when it comes to strength. You see, when you put the original work one in here, it can actually move around just a little bit. Versus the SRR Hardware, with that shoulder, it's quite a bit tighter. Yeah, it's still a little bit, but not anywhere near as much as the work one. Enough talk, let's get to it. We'll put our wheel bolts in each of the holes, and what we're gonna do is we'll tighten them down like we will lug nuts and start kind of crisscrossing around. I'm just putting a small dab of blue thread locker on here. Not a lot. You don't need to get it across all the threads, just here on the end is good enough, because as you tighten it, the nut will carry it all the way down the threads. That'll be just fine. I've seen a couple of different specs for the hardware here, for anywhere from 17 up to 27 foot-pounds. And we're gonna shoot kind of in the middle there for 20-ish foot-pounds. Now to repeat that 16 more times. Now we need to pause and have a safety briefing. I posted online when I cut these apart, like in a Facebook group, and somebody asked if I was going to weld them back together afterwards. These wheels have 16 bolts that hold the lip and the barrel together and hold the wheel face into it. When I told them no, people kind of had a meltdown. I jokingly responded with like, well, the weld is only there to hold the air in the wheel or make sure it doesn't leak. Which is true, but that's not the whole story. 16 bolts may not be enough to hold things together strongly without things separating or cracking, holding those forces. I really can't say for sure. The lip and the barrel are under immense stress as you're cornering or drifting or you do a dirt drop or something, and that can have the potential to pull apart the lip and the barrel where those bolts are, and it could crack. So it's probably safer and better to weld them back together. And I say probably just because I don't like to deal in absolutes. I am making the conscious decision not to weld them back together at this point in time. But if like the next video I upload is like, oh my gosh, my work wheel exploded, that's what happened. Once everything's bolted back together, this is when you would, well, weld it, but I'm skipping straight ahead to silicone sealing it. Okay, back to it. Well, the hardware torqued to spec, it is now time to silicone the wheels. I've used that tape to tape it off so I can keep things nice and clean and tidy as I silicone it. The silicone that I'm using here is just a GE Silicone 2 clear for indoor-outdoor. I went for the indoor-outdoor because it's better for heat cycling and things like that, so I thought that's probably a good idea for wheels, you know. This is just generic stuff you get at the hardware store. Really nothing special to it. Even though I know there are special wheel sealants and things like that to do this with, I have always just used this kind of stuff with no problems. I've rebuilt a couple sets of 3-piece wheels now just using this stuff, and it's been just fine, holding up for about, I think the first set I rebuilt was about 10 years ago. So yeah, this stuff is just fine. Does have a really strong odor to it, so you should probably be doing this in a well-ventilated area. I am not in a well-ventilated area, so I'm gonna have to hurry up and get this done and then open the door and vacate the area. You should also definitely clean the wheel before you do this, and I mean like deep clean it with acetone or something that's gonna get a bunch of the leftover silicone off of it and the debris and junk. There are a couple of different ways to smooth it afterwards. Some people just use their finger. I prefer to use a wet rag like this and try not to drag my fingers across it as I'm going back over it. I'm not really applying any pressure. I'm just gliding the rag across it just to smooth it out, work out any air bubbles, things like that. And it seems to work out pretty good most of the time for me. The idea behind the tape here is just to give it a nice, clean line. I'm gonna peel that off while it is still drying. That way, I'm not peeling up the silicone later when I try and remove this. Well, there you have it. That's cutting apart your welded 3-piece wheels and bolting and assembling everything back together. The last part is gonna be installing a valve stem of choice and mounting your tire on. I'm gonna let the silicone cure for about 24 hours before I go take these over to a tire machine. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.